Okay. Uh, Hello everyone and welcome to SpaceChem Tournament 2024 round special 1 Carnation system, or as Triple I affectionately calls it, nuclear nightmare. What this level is a cycles level with the following premise. You are given a single input ever, which has an atomic mass of around 600. And then you must transform it into one of the two outputs you are given, which, as you can see, is a pass-through output. Then you must transform it into the other output, and basically continue the cycle indefinitely. The metric for this round is cycles times cycles times in brackets 2 times reactors minus 3, meaning that the minimum possible number of reactors, which is 2 reactors, gives you a multiplier of 1. 3 reactors gives you a multiplier of 4, then 4 gives you 7. No, I'm sorry. 3 reactors gives you a multiplier of 3, 4 reactors gives you a multiplier of 5, and so on. So what okay, the molecules here, the output molecules are comparatively complex, and specifically there are 85 and 20 in the top molecule, and 91 and 97 in the bottom or output. And oh, this might look rather nightmarish, and that's because it more or less is. But possibly one of the main reasons that it is nightmarish is because I made a slight mistake when making this level, more of a typo, and I would like to show you how it was supposed to work. The bottom output is supposed to have 91 and 98. As you might remember in the chat, I asked a few weeks ago whether people would want me to switch 97 to 98, and here's why. Please show the demonstration levels of the mass that was intended to work.
Which one do you need?
All in order. Let's begin from the first. Did I forget to send you the solutions? I forgot to send you the solutions. My God.
What do you mean? You are not telling me on the fly how to do this mess? What? You're telling me that even are you telling me that even the easy math is a goddamn nightmare? That's for
no,
sure
no, no, no,
true,
no.
right?
Okay. Please look at your DMs and import the solutions that I just sent you. Okay. So, as you can see, on the top we have 101, and using this very simple cycle with the minimum involvement of blue, we can transform this quite quickly into 91. By just removing Sixium from the middle and basically continually taking and fusing until we send the correct atom. And if you now turn the red start 108 degrees, now on the bottom we have a very similar setup that will turn 100 into 98. Bam, bam. Now now we will use the same exact solution in the other demonstrations. Here we take Dubnium, which is 105, which is 85 plus 20, and using a very similar solution setup, we can turn it into 91. Now on the bottom, this exact process turns it into 98. Now, this and now the third demo. And in the third demo, we do the opposite. We turn 98 on the top into 20 using the exact. No. Did I? Those sensors are supposed to be both for astatin.
Where is astatin?
To the right here. So, again, this exact simple solution setup turns 98 into 85, and on the bottom, 91 turns into 85. So the point of this demonstration was that if the correct mass was used, this would have been a fairly non-complicated transformation, and most of the challenge would have come from bonding. However, unfortunately, I made a small typo, and instead of 98, we got 97, which, how I put it, made this level a bit harder than it was supposed. And by a bit harder, I mean a lot harder. Okay, I think we can begin.
Yeah, I mean, this level was intended to be nightmarishly difficult, and it is indeed nightmarishly difficult. Like, do not pretend that there was some grand plan to make things easy. I think that before we start,
I wasn't making it easy, but I was making it moderately hard.
yeah, sure, and
But it did end up nightmarishly difficult. That is correct.
amazing. And before we start, I think it's we should give some more generalities about these objects right here. This has a mass of slightly more than 600.
Yes, 600.
Everyone that does these levels knows the trick. These are actually 200 and a bit, and they split into pieces. And these molecules are.
The bottom is okay. Let me remember the mass. The bottom is 380. I think. Okay. Let me.
In any case, this one is around 300.
Yeah,
Around
376. Yes, and the top is 500 exact.
Yeah. So you can think
Oh,
about it 600, 400s, 500s.
Yeah.
It is more complicated.
I forgot to mention one thing. Special rule forbids you, requires you, or rather, to produce those output consecutively. In other words, you are not allowed to just make one atom, make 20 passes with one molecule, make 20 passes with it, then send it over, transform, and make 20 passes with it, and complete the level. You are supposed to constantly transform back and forth, and you do not have enough atomic mass to make both molecules at once. So again, you have to constantly transform back and forth.
Okay. Yeah. So you can see here the simplest technically possible loop, which is this 2-reactor loop right here. You get the input, you transform into this thing right here, you loop it back into the reactor, transform, loop it back in, transform, etc., etc. This is what is the technically. Yes.
Okay. This is, even though this is the technically simplest loop, this is not actually possible because you will have a build-up of excess material in the bottom reactor. So there's also something you will have to manage.
Yeah, right. This is correct. You need also this or something of the sort, or the opposite of this. Now I will need to do the math, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that much. And on top of this, you have a few more reactors, and there are several ways you can add more reactors to make your process simple. Like you could add one reactor at the bottom and make an easier process. You have this pipe, you can inject material somewhere. You can of course swap these two right here, which I think it's mandatory, so you have this pipe leading down and then they go the other way, or you can add one extra preprocessing reactor right here, etc. There are a lot of possible complications to this, but of course the completely crazy metric wants you to do this in the minimal amount of reactors possible.
Well, it's not strictly required because the penalty is only quote unquote 3 times. So if you can make a 3 times a 3 reactor solution that is 3 times faster than a 2 reactor one, then they would be the same metric. So it's not completely punishing to anything above 2 reactors.
Indeed. So let's have a look at these reactors. They are fairly powerful. 4 bonders, 2 sensors, 3 and 3 fusers and splitters. And this is the only reactor type we have. And at 20 outputs, you can demonstrate the thing works without taking forever. So
yeah, in this case, by the way, the exact output quota is a bit more important than usual because you additionally have the very large latency coming from the initial transformation. Okay, one last thing I want to add. This was actually the first level I have made for this tournament. And this rule of transforming back and forth is the source of the whole idea for the for rules for this tournament being based around various special rules and unusual metrics.
yeah, I mean, I maintain that Glide from 2021 was a cuter implementation of running around, but you know that was a
It
shit
was
post.
not really the same. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that
not
was a
really the same because here we have the additional feature that you only get one input
I know,
molecule
that,
total.
that was a shit post. This is an actual puzzle. So let's
Yeah.
get it started. And we start with Doffot. And I think it's fair to say we start with 4th place. And we start with 4th
Yes.
place because this level is nightmarishly hard. So this week we just have 4 solves.
But each one is complicated enough to count as 2 solutions, so hey!
I mean, I guess. And so let's first start looking a bit at the connections here.
By the way, maybe we should invite Tough to chat if he's here.
If you want to talk, yes, he can come up, but it's completely optional.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to talk, if you want to talk, there is a giant button you can click, but don't feel compelled.
He has raised a hand, I think,
No,
and
no,
I think you have to accept it.
I did that. He has a giant button. If he wants, he can accept it. So let's take a look at the. Oh, hello.
Hello. You are muted, by the way.
Yeah. We can start looking at the connections. And as you can see, I removed the transforming reactors. So the reactors that are coupled to the outputs. And you see these 2 reactors are completely uncoupled. So what you effectively have is you have these 2 reactors that just do the initial transformation, and then the other 2 reactors do the loop more or less in the same way I showed in the initial conversation. So we first will look at these 2 right here, and we would see them produce some sort of preprocessed thing, and then we'll look at the transformation reactors. You will have one that transforms things into this, and the other that transforms residuals into this. Tofot, if you want to talk, just unmute yourself, and we'll get you to the stage. So let's look at the first reactor. Let's look at the first reactor, and yeah, feel free.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. It starts with 2 introductory reactors. I had initially expected to collapse them into one, but I didn't have time to even start on that. The initial reactors turn the initial starting material into the 4-atom output connected to some calciums. And then that's the first reactor, and then sending a couple of heliums as well. The heliums get passed through, and then the
just wait a moment.
Yeah.
And, we will
All right.
we'll get to that. Yeah. So there is the conversion you were talking about, and I mean,
Okay.
I guess we can see your idea because these two reactors are completely connected. You clearly wanted to collapse them together from the connections, something we can tell. And we have a first reactor doing this transformation right here. And yeah, now it is completed. And this is, of course, it is done by sensors, palladium here, and I guess we could look at how you produce berkelium, but this is just a residual of the fission loop. Yeah, this is berkelium
And
because it comes out of the inputs essentially. And yeah, just wait a moment. Now this is reattached inside, and at some point you get palladium, exactly, and you attach it. And then you do the same thing again with this thing right here, which again splits in a way that you make berkelium. Yeah, same thing, berkelium here, beryllium here. Because these are two omegas, so they split into the same exact way. The delta is shuttled away. And same thing, the residuals are packed up again, and you get your protactinium. Here we go. Yep, and that's done. Now, what we're talking about, we see it in the next reactor. Just give me a moment. The next reactor makes calcium, mostly, because this goes here, and you have a lot of calcium. And this is a general theme, because I think we will talk about this when you see the next solution, because having extra calcium lying around is kind of a theme of this level, and we'll see it shortly. So this was the delta, right? Yeah. This is one calcium. This is another calcium. Oh my god. Yeah. Feel free to.
Yeah, the calcium. Two of the calciums are created from nitrogen coming in the from the other reactor, along with aluminum from this reactor, and
Yeah, and
the rest. There are a few atoms left over, but everything else gets
here it is.
together into mercury, which then becomes the rest of the calciums.
Nice job. This is waste, right? We are done at this point.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the exact atomic mass needed for a big output, right? Or do you have some extra waste after?
The total is the exact amount needed for the big output.
Okay.
The little output goes first, though, and the rest, the extra calciums and the helium, gets sent along and used. The initial pass in the third reactor is different from the rest of the passes in the third reactor.
Yeah, makes sense. So let's take a look. I got a pause symbol here, so we see the first input, and we grab helium. With that, we just shuttle along, and this is going to the other reactor. Like, this realizes what Darius was talking about. To have the math work out, you need to send some stuff through the outputs and the rest of the stuff directly to the reactor on the other side. And sending calcium is the smart idea. Like, having these calcium pieces that you do not send along the output, but that you send to the other reactor is something we are going to see used in many solutions. Of course, you also need some extra pieces to make the math works, which are these heliums, right? So helium again, and now that we got all the helium, we are going to get the big piece, unbond it, and output the output. Yeah, exactly. Here we go. Now everything is going to be up here. And I guess this usually ends up being the more complicated reactor, because you need to pack this stuff into here. So if you want to take it off, that's all yours.
All right, it does things two at a time.
Yeah, taking advantage of the huge amount of splitters and fusers we have. Yeah, it broke it off from here, and it's reattaching it like upside down, right?
Right.
So the math is going to work out. Kind of. This is silicon. Yeah, this is 2 from calcium, 2 from not 2 but 6 from calcium. So we are going to see, yeah, this is 6, so this is mixed calcium, and we are clearly going to do this again, right? Because we've done half of it.
Yes.
Okay, this is impressively complicated. I mean, every solution to this level is, and yeah, that's kind of impressive. Like, so the nuclear math is to split the other input once and then pack things together, everything but enough pieces that you make the residual calcium here, which are the carbons we saw earlier, and these lithiums. Yeah, even the timing is non-trivial. Yeah, now it's a matter of bonding. You pick this up and then you have all this coming in. I guess this is done, yeah, three-dimensionally. They come in nicely and everything is bonded, right? And this is outputted. Now there is just one process we need to look, and this is this reactor right here, the other input loop, yeah, which is this one. Okay, we split. Yeah, because in some sense we need to turn this 2 calcium back into helium. Yeah, so this is one helium. And we slime it directly here. Nice, nice. Break it off the other one. Okay, clear. You pack things up when we are going to debond and fuse it up. Yeah, exactly. Fuse it and it's gone. Nice, nice. Of course, we are not hitting this post symbol again because this was just for initialization. And we do the transformation again. It comes back, etc., etc. Yeah, nice job, nice job. And
Thank you.
yeah, it's, you know, it's way harder than what I could hope to do by myself. So I guess just making a solution to this is kind of a gigantic accomplishment, to be honest, especially as a solo player. And I think what we should focus in here is this calcium thing. We will see this again several times, and the helium not so much. The helium part, it depends on the solution, but these calcium residuals, it is a very common and useful strategy. So if you do not have other comments or thought, I think we can thank you and move on to the next solution.
No more comments. Thank you.
Thank you very much and congratulations. We see your solution run to the end. Yeah, it takes a lot. The simulation is not particularly fast. This is because there is a lot of extremely complex reactors. And here we go. At 9,700 cycles, this is not even the slowest solution we have. 448 symbols at an average of over 100 symbols per reactor. Darius, how are we scoring?
Yes, this was the metric of 49,300. By the way, I forgot to mention the metric also has a cycle. No, I mean a symbols secondary, which may come in useful later, as you'll see.
Okay, so we say goodbye to you, Tofot, and we go on. We go on with Spiritual Shampoo, with Carnation. Now, Spiritual Shampoo comes from Opus Magnum. This is first tournament. He has incessantly complained that puzzles are hard, that is difficult, but my god, he solved them all. And this again is obscenely difficult, and he lands third place ahead of someone like Toffot, which is an extremely experienced player. And you know, I'm severely impressed, because you see, we have several teams, just 4 solutions, so you know that even teams, even not all teams could manage to solve this, and he did it. So congratulations. Like, if I were to try an Opus Magnum tournament, there is no way I could land something of this level of difficulty. So first of all, congratulations. And now let's look at the topology a little bit. We see this reaction is by itself, so this is pure initialization, but it's just one, unlike the 2 that were in the in Toffot solution. And we have 3 reactors here in the loop, and the way they are set is that there are 2 reactors in this side of the loop, the jellyfish to riptosis. Darius, you're explaining us what the heck are these names on the
Turritopsis Carnation. On the top is the actual name of the jellyfish, and the bottom is a jellyfish extract. This is actually a reference to a visual novel I will not name, because
so there is whip shit in my.
Yes, exactly. It is very
Okay,
weird shit.
okay. Why did I even ask? Why did I even ask? So, as I was saying, we have 1 reactor on the left and 2 reactors on the right. You could technically think you could combine them. Spiritual Shampoo is crazy, but not crazy enough to attempt this. And you have this pipe right here, which is the usual mass shuttle we talked about. You have 400 mass passing here, and you need to pass along around 100 mass for the map to work out. So I guess we're going to start with this reactor right here. At the bottom there is a pass-through pipe, sorry, a loopback pipe. We can see it right here, and at the bottom there is the actual output. Spiritual Shampoo does a similar thing to Toffot. It preprocesses the input into the jellyfish extract, and then extra mass that it's not calcium, but it's those things. And we will see some additional transformation done in this reactor right here. So let's get, because you see the things it receives are different than the things the things it outputs are different than here. So let's get it started. We split the omega and throw every fusion product away. If you remember, Toffot also made beryllium, but he had a fusion loop, while Spiritual Shampoo stores everything into the loopback pipe. And we see here those similar sensors, so we are expecting some very similar transformation to Toffot to create the jellyfish extract. There's no coincidence that we start with the omega as well, because omega splits down well into beryllium and berkelium. So here, as promised, things get fused back into berkelium, and we make aluminum with residuals. Again, residuals are put into proteoactinium. This is roughly the same algorithm as Toffot, but it's implemented with the loopback pipe, which I guess makes it a bit faster, but This is in installation time, so it doesn't matter that much. Still, the algorithm looks pretty efficient because we are already done with jellyfish extract and it's just been 100 cycles. So it's a fairly good job for just a single reactor. And at this point there is some extra dance, and this is more complicated because the loopback pipe is used again to store fission products, and things are packed together in I would say elements that I do not exactly understand, but the math is going to work out later. So we will analyze it more in detail later, but the thing is that sulfur and a curium mendelevium is outputted, and this sum here is odd, so this is not going to be exact, and I think we should see some waste into one of the reactors I had. Now let's check this out. We already see some waste here with the sulfur, but just the sulfur right here, so there is a bit more waste to be had, and we will see that in the coming reactors. So we have the two inputs right here. We can get to this reactor, and this reactor has this particular path here that you can easily tell cannot be visited again, so this is just initialization and it's not used every time. Now this is outputted as is. It's outputted as is here, and again we are going to see some single-use paths as well, because this isn't even in the annotation. This grab and this path right here, this is single use, so we are going to see some very fancy handling in this reactor that we will see later. We'll see it later because this reactor also does splitting of the sulfur into berylliums. Yeah, we are going to wait for a bit because we need to follow the processing. That is going to happen, not is going to happen here. Just wait for a moment. We should be close to, yeah, this is the input. Let's follow it for a moment. It gets inputted and just shove it into the output directly. Now it's here, and we are waiting for our input. Again, you see this is not a single-use path, even if it looks like that, because the flip-flops make it work, and this makes sense because you need to pick these up for every loop. So let's just wait for a moment. Come on, just put off. Here we have it. Now this curium mendelevium is just for the first time, so what we are going to see here is a single-use process. We output some things, and we are left with this stick right here. Yeah, this is a pretty complicated process. We are going to follow it in the next reactor soon. Yep, keep splitting till we have this shape right here. Carbon sensor breaks it up, and we have aluminum, and we drop aluminums. Yeah, this is very, very, very complicated. I think we are next to close. We have krypton, yeah, and we are clearly done. So this is the extra waste I promised: aluminum, magnesium, cadmium. The sum is odd, so I think this is all the waste we are going to see, and we are going to follow a process in this reactor. Put this pause symbol here, follow process. So we have a lot of things to input. As you can see, there is a big variety of stuff we have outputted. So cycle 310. I need to take out the pause, or I will have it around forever. So now we need to pack things up to make a lot of calciums. And how do we make a lot of calciums? Well, we fuse stuff together until we make mercury. Mercury is very nice because it's 80, and 80 splits into 4 calciums. Because we did all the nuclear math into the last reactor, things are going to pack up into mercury in nice ways. So we have one mercury here, hafnium astatine, more fusion, another astatine, more fusion, another hafnium, and hafnium is 72, astatine is 85. We need an aluminum. Oh, guess what? We have aluminums here. So the math works out that aluminum just drops here, right where it's needed, and we have astatine. Now it's a matter of breaking apart these aluminums, and this is going to make calcium, and this is why he uses this loopback pipe to find calciums this other way around, and this is also why he needed another reactor, so he could have one with a loopback pipe. And here we go. This is the rest of the fusion products. The other calcium. This is a very nice shape, very symmetric, and this is famous for the 9 cycle loop, and I guess I have to bring that up to in every single tournament. Gigi Gold knows what I'm talking about, and he can post the famous solution in the comments.
I mean, you what exactly are you talking about?
The 9 cycle loop.
What level are you talking about?
The 9 cycle loop. Yeah, have you never seen the video? Well, that is shameful, man. This means you didn't do proper research when you decided to run a tournament. There was a level in 2013, I think, like Gigi Gold remembers for sure. There was a level in 2013 where you had to make a cradle. So you had to separate plutonium from uranium, which means you had to separate a 7-bond molecule from a 6-bond.
Yes, cradle. Okay, yes, I remember
and,
now.
The way to do that level was to make some cradle and use bonding with free atoms and swappers to do the thing. And top solutions were add like 10 cycles loops or so. And Gigi Gold built this gigantic shape and add a test here, and here. And this was faster because you had this giant shape that could rotate and drop things, and the loop came out to a 9 cycle loop. But it lost because he had to do this gigantic shape and it was lower in latency. A 9 cycle loop is of course a joke, and the reason it's a joke I will not tell here, but I'm sure you can all get it. So this is our product, and now we follow it as it returns to the initial reactor, and we see the last step of the processing that we did not see until now. We have a lot of calcium, and we are going to fuse them into, he has catalysts. Nice, he has catalysts so that he can fuse all this stuff into the atoms. As you can see, you need the calciums, the carbons to make berkelium and protactinium. Yeah, here it is, carbons and magnesium. Yeah, magnesium makes berkelium, carbon makes protactinium, and everything else. We saw the process already. Let's look here, and where we are going to see the catalysts get recycled. Yeah, really nice. Catalysts are set again, and we are waiting for the next input to use this catalyst on. Let's watch the catalyst process another time. Yeah, here it is. Catalysts are ready. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. And we catalyze this into 2 chromiums, and when we catalyze this into another chromium, we make this zirconium, this ruthenium, and we are going to get our magnesium and calcium, magnesium and carbon out of here. So 1 magnesium, 1 carbon, and then we need another magnesium, here we go, and another carbon, here we go. And now this is this exact mass to rebuild the catalyst. Nice, very nice process. Very nice process, and as you can see, it looks reasonably fast. Yeah, I need to take the pause out. Yeah, here we go. As you can see, it looks reasonably fast because it is reasonably fast, and this locks in at 5,300
A metric
seconds, much faster than the previous solution. And
which correspondingly halves the metric and sets it to 27,000 and a half.
Yeah.
So a drop of over 20,000.
Yeah, this is around half a metric, and this is really good solution. The loop is pretty tight at this amount of cycles. It's really good. And again, huge congratulations to Spiritual Shampoo, which is the highest ranked single player that's not in a team in this level. And really, as a newcomer to the scene, this is extremely impressive. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Next we have Flight Risk. Can you remind me what these guys are?
Flight Risk is Vipumei, GG and Rexki.
So even adding one more member to the team didn't grant them first place, but still this is extremely impressive showing. Charge of the Light Brigade 18. Is this with shit as well?
Probably not, but they have submitted around 90 solutions. That's not 19, that's 90.
Serves you well, man. Serves you well.
Oh, don't tell me. I remember how many solutions I sent to you back in 2020 before the bot in Mundani Fire.
Yeah, but I don't read them, so I don't really care. Jokes aside, GG Goal, Rex Kick, Vipume, some of you wants to come up, please raise your hand. No one raises his hand. Well, I am inviting all of you, and if you want to come up, you are able to. So let's start by myself. We are going to see that they got it in 3 reactors. So really nice. The connections also look simple because this is the distilled form of the solutions. We have initialization reactor, and we have the loop reactors with, as usual, the mass escape. Because again, to make this whole thing work, you need to shunt extra mass out. Yeah, so we are going to start right here. Yeah, so this has 500 cents sends it all down. Yeah, this is different actually. It's different because this reactor is connected to both outputs, so this is going to do 2 jobs. It is going to send down and send up, send down and send up, differently from other solutions that had one reactor do each output. So let's start with let's say mildly easy things, the initialization reactor. And so we have no volunteers from
Digigo says he can chat but not speak. I can, well, I can
if you want to say something, write it, and we would say it. So this is complicated.
Yeah.
This is complicated because just look at it. Just look at it. And I am not even exactly sure how to do justice to this. Like, this is very well annotated. It has a loopback pipe, and this is the whole thing that ends up into the loopback pipe. And this, you see, makes calcium. I promised you that you would have seen calcium again. You see a lot of calcium in the output. You see carbon that is used to convert astatine into berkelium. So this is going to be an efficient approach. It has to be because you have much less conversion space. You may also notice that the symbol amount drops because you know you have 3 reactors. How many symbols you can pack in? So let's get it started. This just rakes it out and splits it. So this is going to be difficult to follow because there is a huge array of fission products right here. Yeah, and we have berylliums seen by this sensor. Now I'm not sure I will follow this along perfectly, but you clearly want to make, as we seen earlier, carbons, magnesiums, because these are the things you need to transmute astatines into berkeliums and I always forget the other names. The other name, berkelium and palladium. God damn it.
Protactinium.
Protactinium. Thank you. You know, I see pa and I think palladium, but it's wrong. Palladium is Pb. And so these are the transmutation atoms. And then you want a lot of calcium, because if you have calcium, you just need to bond and you don't need to do the nuclear math in the next reactors. And of course, you want astatine. So we are going to see all these fusion products come together into doing most of the math, because the more math you do in this reactor, the less math you have to do each time in these reactors. So we have a fluorine here, which is some of lithiums, and we have a lot of berylliums. Berylliums are nice because, you know, 4 times 3 it makes 12. It also a divisor of 20. It's a nice atom. And so they slam this in and they make other atoms. Like, I do not pretend I can follow the math, but we are going to see how this ends up. This is slammed in again, and we start recognizing mercury, which is really good, and some gold. So this is going to be very useful. And as for the gold, we will see what they do with it. You don't want to slam this in because you have mercury, and mercury is very nice to use. And what they do is, yeah, something complicated. Make calcium, and this is for calcium south. And then they have 2 carbons, they add it in, and this is astatine. Nice, 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 nice. So this is also all good stuff that can be outputted. This is some more residuals that magically work out. I mean, I guess it's not magical, it's been meticulously planned. And yeah, this is split again. This is going to give similar things to earlier. Yep. Yeah, this is fluorine, another fluorine. Yeah, this, as Gigigol is saying, is just trash. Fluorine and fluorine. Because this 3 is not a great number in this level. You have no use for lithiums as a 3. And even the sum of this, which is 18, is not useful as well. So we just trash it. And yet again, we sum it all. We again get this xenon tin as we did earlier. And once we slam this again, we have gold uranium. The gold is nice because it is going to give us astatine. We have seen this already. Yeah, these carbons are going to give us astatine. And this is thallium. Let's see what they do with thallium. It makes zirconium, so it's more carbon. And I guess this atom right here, it is going to get dumped. Yeah, exactly. It is left here. This is scandium, and we output more calcium. I guess if the math is right, we are going to output nothing else. Yeah, this is going to be stuck forever. This is also stuck forever. We have inputted everything, and this reactor does a pretty good job because, as you can see, right here. No, right. Yeah, it was 350 cycles, so it's reasonably slow, but it has done nearly every single transformation that was needed. So let's look at this reactor, which, you know, also looks fairly complex, and it has this single single use branch right here, and it has some extremely complicated thing in other places. So how do I put a pause? I guess I can put it here. Yeah, I have it, suppose. Okay, we have just inputted a few things and just have it this right here, so not much has happened. As you can see, blue has picked up this astatine block right here and bonded it, but nothing much happened. So now we are picking up the pieces and assembling things. And the way things work out, I am pretty sure we are starting by assembling this output right here, because you know we have all the calciums already made. Yeah, astatine, calcium, astatine, calcium. Yeah, now it's a matter of bonding. We are missing 2 calciums that we are going to pick up shortly. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, bonding it is complicated because you know you have all these paths that need to nest into themselves. I guess I have not talked much about this, but once your reactors reach 80, 100 symbols, you start running out of space. This is common in every single reactor solution. At some point you have filled all the paths, and you need to start getting you would like to have you know, another dimension so you can pass some traces along, but you do not have them. So you need to have path used 2 times for completely unrelated things. So you have symbols that are passed over 2 times and they do wrong things, so you need more symbols to patch things up. And we are at a level where these reactors suffer of a severe lack of space. Every single solution here suffers from severe lack of space, but once you hit around 100 symbols, reactors suffer from lack of space. I would say 80 is the threshold for space starting to be at the premium. Before 80 you can route everything mostly. At 80 to 100 it gets dicey. After 100 you are going to need compromises. So again, every solution that gets the routing done is an impressive solution. And as I was saying, this is magnesium carbon. You are going to recognize them because these are the transmutation elements that brings the astatine core into the jellyfish thingy. And now we bond, and we discover I was wrong. We are going to start with the jellyfish. We are going to start with the jellyfish, and we have this reactor that just remakes astatine. Yeah, makes astatine, splits in such a way that you have a magnesium carbon. Yeah, magnesium carbon, this is fused in, and you make astatine. Astatine is made. You have transmutation elements that you also want to send down, and you also, yeah, we have missed the bonding that is in the other reactor, so we are going to see them right now, because again this solution has an unconventional layout where, yeah, this reactor right here does both outputs. So this was really clever because you know you have it here, send it out, and you are going to receive it again, because this just passes it along. So essentially the carbons are always in this reactor because they pass in the other reactor, but the other reactor doesn't really touch them. So this lets you be much faster because you do not need to do math on the card. Yeah, you see here it's just sent along, and then they are unbonded. The carbons are never the calciums are never treated in this reactor, and this is the reason this solution is this fast, because you just treat these things right here, but you do not touch the calciums. Yeah, really nice job. We didn't foresee this layout at all. Like when me and Darius were brainstorming layouts and connection for this puzzle. This is not something we had foreseen. It was all layouts like the ones we saw earlier. So nice job, guys, thinking outside the box. And thinking outside the box paid, because this is the fastest solution we have at 4,400 cycles.
Spoiler.
Yeah, right, spoilers, because if this is the fastest solution we have and this is not first place, you can guess what is going to happen. And this course?
This scores 13,500. So again, a drop of almost 50%.
Yeah. So do you guys want to say anything? Vipume, Rexgeek, GG Gold. If you have some comments, we are watching. Otherwise, we are going to the next solve. They're so shy.
You address them and they stop typing.
Yeah, but it stopped. They're so shy. So I say that this was the fastest solution we had. This means that Team Secret Foundry, with a solution titled some regular expression that I'm not sure I understand. Oh yeah, we have Yellow Money, thank you very much. A member of Team Secret Foundry, along with
Lazy Comet. And this is their fourth win, I think, this tournament. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I remember that of the last 5 weeks, this is their fourth win.
Okay.
Can you
Yellow Money, go.
Very quietly.
Is it better?
Oh,
Yeah, you're
Yes.
a bit quiet, but we can hear you.
still quiet, but here.
Okay, the title is just the number of cycles, and it contains the symbols and reactors, and that is written in the way that Python string.
Oh my
I
god.
don't know. String work.
It works out? Like, did you guys
Yes.
do this on purpose?
No, it just happened to work out this way.
Sorry, my friend is asking. My friend doesn't understand it and asks to explain. What exactly do you mean?
You are
So
a Python developer.
The number of cycles is this whole number 13291. Then the number of reactors is only starting at the middle symbol, reading to the middle symbol, so only the two.
Okay, I see.
And
Yes.
the number
Okay.
of the symbols is reading from the 3 to the 9, so it's 329 symbols.
Okay.
Yeah, this is amazing coincidence. It's also pretty symmetric, kind of impressive. Yeah, so let's get this started. Let's get this started with just one thing. The number of symbols is 413. Where is the 4?
Because you haven't opened it.
Right. It's 329. It is 329 and it's a 2 reactor solve. I did not think this was possible. Darius was...
I thought this was possible until I realized my mistake and thought that this would not be.
So Darius was sure, yeah, we are going to do it. They are so good. I was not sure it was possible, and I mean, I don't know the appropriate English word to describe how impressed I am with whatever this thing does.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I did not think this was possible. And the layout is easy to understand, at least. It is the same exact layout as the previous solution. We have this reactor right here that sends both outputs. You see, I reset pipes and I lost both outputs. So it's the same exact layout. This sends outputs here and here. And I guess this was the winning idea. The fact that you can just have calcium sit here, and you do not need to shuttle calcium pieces around. So
Okay, it's one correction. It's not exactly the same layout because instead of both outputs proceeding to the second reactor, instead one of them, the top one, loops back to the same reactor.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
it's slightly.
I thought that the main point was this, but it's not exactly the same. Yes, that's correct. So, what are we starting with, Yellow Bunny? This one or the other one?
Yes, this is the initialization reactor,
Okay.
and it starts by, when it inputs, splitting one of the omegas into 101 and 100, and then splitting those down in such a way that we produce one berkelium and one of the other things.
Yeah, you have francium actually, and yeah, this protactinium, because you have protactinium because you have yeah, you are going to output protactinium from here.
Now the same loop runs again to produce the other half of the jellyfish extract.
Yeah.
And at the same time, some waste is stored at the top.
Okay, makes sense. You are missing still some mass that you grab down there.
Now we are creating osmium and iridium, which are 76 and 77,
Okay.
and also output one of the nitrogens, which has mass of 7. And why we do it, we will see in the next reactor.
Okay.
And at this point, this reactor is just a pass-through and doesn't really do anything anymore.
Okay, so we are going to look at this reactor, and you are going to tell us what it does because I am not able to understand.
1 second, if I may cut in for a second. You may remember IEEE saying that at 100 reactors, at 100 symbols, reactors begin to get cramped. What you are looking here at is 191 symbol in reactor.
Yeah, this is the biggest reactor we have. I think besides from the 2016 challenge, which was about packing logic. I guess Toffot remembers it because that that solution is the biggest reactor we have. It has around I guess 300, but that was a level about packing repeated units, so it was easier. This I think is the biggest reactor we have ever had in a top level solution along tournaments and the leaderboard. The leaderboard has nothing this big. The biggest levels on the leaderboard is like 130, 140 or so. This is by far the biggest. And yeah, as Lazy Comet is saying, he is saying that this is two single Waldo solutions stapled together, and I guess it makes sense. Like if you're extremely good at one Waldo solutions, you can just cram two together and get a lot of out of one reactor.
So we got the first input, which is the jellyfish extract, and only the bonds need to get fixed.
Yeah.
And that gets output. And now we use osmium, iridium, and nitrogen to make 2 element 80s,
Yeah.
which then split down into calcium.
Makes sense. How did you find out a math that worked out right? You know, iridium, osmium.
A lot of scribbling down random numbers
Yeah,
in my notebook.
What I expected.
Now we have these 2 arms of calcium, and we get our jellyfish extract back.
I didn't look at it, but I assume this was trivial to look at. It's just a pass-through, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it got out there, and then this reactor just shoved it over. You split instead of using carbon and oh no, right, that's correct, because you need to make astatine now.
Yes, this splits out carbon and magnesium out of these to turn it into all astatine.
Yeah, classics. Yeah, split and bond. Like we have seen this process already. This is fairly efficient because it's in the chain, so you do not need extremely special handling. And yeah, something I've not talked about, when you split this side, it makes sodium and not magnesium, so it's not that bad to figure it out. Because if the other chain also had magnesium, it would be not very fun. But because this chain has sodium, you can distinguish them with this. This sort of thing has been used in most other solutions. I just did not point it out. So we made astatine, very nice.
Now the calcium gets attached to that at the top, and it gets output.
Okay. Again, there is the pass-through. I don't even go see it because
No, this is directly from the thing. Now those just get removed again, the calcium arms.
okay, you have to do this way because you want to rebond them together.
And now all of these get fused together again.
Yeah, I can see that you have just one Waldo doing thing, and then the other Waldo starts. Yeah, because I can tell it's unfeasible to do coordination at this sort of density. Yeah, and we're done, right?
Yes.
My God, the flip-flopping. How much unneeded pathing is there? Like, imagine you had a third dimension and you had a whole other grid. Okay, like you could go up the screen and then down the screen to have more paths. You would have used a whole other layer, I imagine, maybe even two. Like how much you pass through the same paths just because you are forced to.
This is really hard to quantify. I mean, I don't even know anymore. I worked on this for so long and just kept putting flip-flops and sensors everywhere until I somehow got everything to where it needed to go.
Yeah, having two sensors helps because you have a lot of logic power to decide things. But yeah, there is a shit ton of flip-flops. This has got to be nightmarish. How much? I don't want to know how much time you spent on this. I hope you had fun.
I mean, this reactor I completely did yesterday. Before yesterday, I only had the first reactor.
What?
Wow,
Wow.
incredible.
But I spent another day before that thinking about what this reactor needs to do and how I can split it between the Waldos. So I spent like one day thinking and one day implementing this reactor.
Yeah, this is still very little. Comparable solutions in the leaderboard are efforts of multiple days among multiple people. Like I made a lot of them together with other players like Pugiver or Gigs, or it takes us days. And the initial product is extremely unoptimized compared to a final product. And this is done in one day. I'm impressed.
And in the end, I didn't really have a good plan for how I would create this jellyfish extract from the 4 molecules with like 4 atoms each. And I only had basically this output omega zone. And somehow I managed to fit one Waldo into that zone to completely reassemble the jellyfish extract.
Yeah, no, yes, you can tell this is the last minute addition because everything else has, let's say, first class pathing, and this is just cramped to get everything to work. Like you see, blue has this very ample pathing. You can tell this was done first, and you can tell this was done later because it's extremely cramped and slower. Still, ludicrously impressive. Ludicrously impressive. I have no other words. We are going to watch. We are going to watch this run, And yeah, I'm sure this can be optimized. Okay, all these flip-flops cannot be optimal, but it would take me probably a couple days to understand it at a level that I can start making changes. Extremely impressive. And here we go.
Okay, this was, yeah. This was Team Secret Foundry with a metric score of 13,370. So this is a drop of just 180, or around 1.5%. And by the way, you may remember I mentioned look forward to the symbol secondary coming in useful. If symbols were not a factor, this would have been second place. But it was yeah, extremely impressive work.
Yeah, the factor of 3 turned out to be a really good trade-off. It just said that the level was so hard that you didn't have many solutions to show the trade-off of. Congratulations again, not just to Team Secret Foundry, but to everyone
But especially
that submitted.
To everyone, but especially to Team Secret Foundry. Yeah,
I'm not that biased. Okay. Do you need to show levels to come?
Levels to come. I mean, there are no more new levels.
Okay.
We already have everything. Yeah. Two more things I want to say about this level. First of all, you may notice that this has a 3 times penalty, but IEEE actually suggested a 5 times penalty. But I thought that was a bit too brutal for 2 people over 2 reactors. So this is what we have. And if you this was a bit spiritually inspired by the famous / infamous one reactor solve to the precursor compounds solution level in the main campaign. You probably know what I'm talking about, and if you don't, I strongly recommend you to go look it up.
Yeah, that's arguably the hardest record we track. Minimal reactor of precursor compounds is arguably the hardest solution in the leaderboard. Close to other, but in my opinion, it's the hardest by a good margin. So yes, taking inspiration from that is certainly a decision. In any case, I think it's all for this week. So we close here, and we will see when it's next the next drop.
The next drop. So what do you mean by the next drop? There will be no next drop.
Now we are done with weekly levels, so it's just special levels left, right?
No. We have one more regular level. We have chats ending next Saturday, and the next 2 special levels ending on the following day.
Okay, so we're going to see you all next week. Goodbye. Have fun.
Goodbye.